To begin with the different phases that we offer in SomaEnergetics, you would begin, of course, at phase 1. And notice we call them phases rather than levels because we believe that things are in such transition. And if you think about a cell as it is destroyed before it recreates itself. So we're kind of in phase of leaving an old and moving into a new era. So we're working with that phase. And that's the magic to me and the genius of the solfeggio forks is that they're rather dissonant to the resonance of the Western diatonic scale, because phase to me would be more dissonant, connecting to resonant sounds. So it's kind of bridging this idea of us moving from one world age to a new world age. You would begin with phase 1, which is called the energy vitality technique. And in phase 1, you would use an energy tuner, which we have a set of 6 solfeggio tuners that work together. And we've put them in the colors of the chakras, and with the root being red, and this one happens to be sacral, which is orange, and so on and so forth. And you learn how, first of all, to activate energy that the client is not using beyond survival. We as Homo sapien humans have learned survival, and we've adapted to famine, wars, and we've survived. And now there is an energy being released to us, which I think has been around maybe even in the last few decades, maybe in the 60s, was an emergence of energy that we did not know what to do because we didn't have a model in religion or science or education to tell us what to do. Now that's all changed with the age of information, and we have more information about how and what to do with that energy. So in SomaEnergetics, we teach, first of all, how to activate that energy. If you ever see 2 molecules and how they interact with each other, they kind of shoot energy at each other. It's almost like passing a basketball back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And as that energy is passed back and forth between the molecules, it builds and builds and builds and builds to what we call free energy, excess energy. And that abundance of energy is always available to us, but we haven't tapped into it well. Tesla knew about this, and many other names that was around decades ago understood this free energy idea. So SomaEnergetics has taken that idea of free energy, and how do we tap into that energy? So I teach a technique in level 1 and how to activate that, because all the energy we don't use in the energy bodies, gravity's going to bring it down where? But to the coccyx area, to the tailbone area of the spine. Eastern people call this Kundalini energy. I'm just calling it excess energy that we're not using beyond survival. So we teach a technique there how to activate that by creating a little vortex, a little eddy in the area that activates that energy and brings it in. Then we learn how do we intelligently and intuitively distribute that new energy into the third energy anatomy body. And of course, we use what's called the energy centers or chakra centers in the East. And we believe that the chakras are transmitters and receivers of that energy and have an intelligence to know how much energy. And it's so fascinating when you see clients that learn level 1 to experience the first time that energy moves their fork rather than the fork moving the energy. And to tap into this Elixir of Life, it's called, which would be the etheric double to cerebral spinal fluid at the spine, would be the etheric river of life. And to find that that river in a healthy situation is always flowing. So just imagine a river that's flowing along that has no dams in it, nothing is stopping it, slowing it down. Or imagine a river that hits a dam or hits a place in which it slows it down. Then that causes us to be unhealthy and to not have access to chi, life, energy, force. So we teach how to do that, and we teach that by using intervals between forks. So if I tap 2 forks together, I actually have a third frequency. which would be the difference between the two forks. So if I take the lower frequency of one fork and subtract it from the higher frequency of the other fork, I've created a vibrational portal or bridge. Now that bridge is between the chakras, and I teach you how to intelligently move through that. Then we teach how to find the energy centers of the Ida, the Pingala, and the Sushumna, which is a natural positive and negative. Yin Yang, it's called many things, but it's positive and negative working together, and how to distribute that energy all the way up to the crown, because we want to get that energy to one of the most interesting and important physical / spiritual glands in the brain called the pineal gland. The pineal gland has now become the new master gland over the pituitary gland. So the shift is happening even in our own bodies and in our own brain. And because we have been dumbed down with fluoride and all the things in our foods and whatever, they've calcified the pineal gland. And we have to work to decalcify that pineal gland because it is so important to getting the new information. So that's pretty much what you learn in Energy Vitality. And the greatest gift that you can actually give someone is energy. It's like if somebody gifted you with money you didn't know you had. It would change your life because you could write bigger checks because you have something to back it up. If you have excess energy beyond survival, then you can manifest, you can heal, you can draw and attract into your life wonderful partnerships, friendships, but you can't do what you don't have the energy to do. And we're trying to give that gift to each client, the energy to manifest.